I'm gonna score this right here. Oh, I'm gonna score this.
No, you're not. Hello there, the WCHL Playoffs Round 1. This is a very exciting times for the team. This is the first time we're going to be going to the playoffs. Anxiety is going to be a pretty tough opponent as they're a pretty well-rounded team just like we are, so it's going to be tight net through in and out. If you are needing a quick refresher on what happened during the season, you will see the link of that in the top right corner as shown there. And leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the video so far. The feedback definitely helps me try to be more creative with these videos, try to make these lots of fun. But going into it, we ended up losing the first game and the second game to Anxiety, so we're actually down 0-2 going into this footage. It's going to be a tall tale because if we lose any of these games, we will need to win every single game to even make it to the next round. But let's see if we can win these two and get it up to game 6 or even to game 7, but it's anybody's game at this point. Now let's check into the footage, and we actually have our special guest commentator, LKYLUISITO. He was a lot of fun when we did our season opener for the Buffalo Sabres, but we're gonna move on to the gameplay for game 3 to start this video, but we'll let LKYLUISITO give us the intro, the lineup, and give us a quick insight before we go into the gameplay. Enjoy.
Thank you, LKYLUISITO. I am LKYLUISITO. Thank you for having me again here, and now let's look at the lineup for game 3. Looks like the Black Bulls are going with the Reggie line. They did ECU for the right winger. Now let's go back to the gameplay and to LKYLUISITO.
Thank you, LKYLUISITO, for that intro. Now going into this first highlight, it's just a high slot shot, nothing too dangerous, just a positional save. Then going into this very next highlight at the 6-minute mark, their defenseman shoots it all the way from their end of the ice. Kind of a funny moment, just thought to highlight that. With time winding down in the first period of game 3, I think everybody's just starting to settle in, but nothing too dangerous happening in this period. With the first period of game 3 coming to a close, let's pass it on to LKYLUISITO and give us some quick highlights.
Thanks, LKYLUISITO. Now looking over these stat sheet here, there's only 4 shots per team there. Not a lot of time in attack. There was 3 power plays amongst both teams, but nothing happening there. Let's move on to period 2.
Raceboy, our right defenseman, brings into the zone himself. He passes off the red for the shot, but then Raceboy gets the rebound there. What a celebration, and to score the very first goal in this game 3. Let's go. The Black Bulls are on the power play here at the 11:45 mark. We try to possess the puck and it just evades us, and they get a pretty good opportunity just to my right, but I had to make the big save. On the very next face-off here, we do the tie-up, and Raceboy, our right defenseman, makes the play here to Blue, and Blue looks for that top right corner and just snipes that bad boy using that heat seeker ability. Yucky making that great goal moment. Let's move on to the next one. Moving later into the game to the 2-minute and 30-second mark, but I had to make the big save as the guy was shooting to the other post. Nice try. Now with the second period all done and dusted, the Black Bulls are up 2-0 against Anxiety in game 3. Now let's give it to the LKYLUISITO and give us some feedback.
Thanks, LKYLUISITO. The Black Bulls are out shooting Anxiety 9-6. Now we're going to move into the third period here and see if the Black Bulls can seal the deal. Now back to you, Lucky.
Moving into 5 minutes of the third period here, Anxiety gets a golden opportunity in the slot for a one-timer, but Lucky makes the big save. A few minutes later, our right D, Raceboy, again in the middle of a golden opportunity, gives it to Blue, and Blue snipes the goalie, trying to cheat a little bit to the far post there. Very nice. 3-0, boys. As time starts ticking away, at the 7-minute mark, they go for another high slot one-timer. I read that play pretty easily, and the defense goes for that shot from the point, looking for some kind of deflection. No dice. We are possessing the puck in their zone. Black Bulls are Anxiety, absolutely nothing to work with. And then on this little breakaway, our left defenseman thinks he has that all covered, but then their forward makes a great move. Nice goal. Anxiety in the last 12 seconds of this game is trying to make something happen, trying to make it a closer game, but we are giving them absolutely nothing. As time keeps on ticking, they keep throwing everything on net, and we secure game 3, getting the 3-1 win. Let's go, boys. Now let's go on to LKYLUISITO and get his thoughts.
Thank you, Lucky. The game was pretty well balanced. Both teams played exceptionally well. Anxiety was really struggling to get some really good opportunities. They only had a few high slot one-timers since they really favored that play as a team. But moving into the next game here for game 4, let's see if the Black Bulls can actually keep the Anxiety at bay and get the 2-2 series tie and force at least a game 6. And this with the lineup is a small change up with the right winger. Now let's move on to the gameplay. Back to you, Lucky.
Thanks, LKYLUISITO, for that feedback. Now going into this first period, their forward tries to sneak in a short side shot. No dice. Anxiety's entering the zone here, and their forward's looking for any kind of movement, but I'm staying still. Anxiety's on the half boards looking for that D-to-D pass, but not dangerous. Let's move on. Just past the 7-minute mark, Reggie finds our right winger cutting through the middle, makes a move, big goal. Very nice. This is great that we get the very first goal of the game. Now let's move on to the next one. Anxiety in the last 2 minutes is really showing off their cycle game here. They go for the DAD pass there, and they get the rebound, but I have to make the 2 big saves. Now fast forwarding about 30 seconds, they go for that DAD pass again, and no success. But their forward realizes they have a little bit of space right in front of me, and bury it back door. Tough. Now as the first period's all finished, we'll let LKYLUISITO take the wheel on this one. On to you, Unlucky.
The first period was a solid performance between the Black Bulls and Anxiety. Anxiety is definitely outshooting the Black Bulls, as you can see, 9-3.
Thanks again on LKYLUISITO. They go for the defense pass here, and he tries to shoot it far post again. Come on, you're not scoring that. Now at the 14-minute and 50-second mark, we get a fortunate bounce and we score that on the right side of that goalie. Man, what a great goal. Hell yeah. With this next one here, Anxiety just entered the zone here, and they try to get a little bit more creative with their shooting, but still, no dice. Anxiety is doing the best they can to get another scoring opportunity. They go for the one-timer here, and I read that like a book. Nice try. On the very next face-off here, just after them making that save, Anxiety manages to win that face-off there, and the puck trickles in somehow. But looking at here at the very end game highlights, that guy manages to hold on to that puck all the way to the net. What a silly goal. What's your thoughts on Lucky?
Thanks again, Lucky. Anxiety is really pushing for this goal here, trying to get that lead, but LKYLUISITO has been really good about keeping them out, making some excellent one-timer saves throughout the second period. You can see Anxiety's out shooting the Black Bulls. Now let's move on to the third and see if they can get the win. Back to you, Lucky.
Going to this third here, this first highlight is just a positional save. Let's move on to the next one. The Black Bulls are coming up the ice, and Matt is going for the pass, and we get a fortunate bounce, and it goes right in the back of the net. What a great goal. We really needed this one, but let's see if Anxiety really makes a push. Anxiety has 2 minutes to tie the game here. The defenseman goes for the creative pass to the winger, but I made the easy save. There's only 25 seconds left in this game here, and Anxiety is making a quick push to see if they can make a great play, which they do sadly, and they actually tie the game with 19 seconds left in the game, which would make it 3-3, and we're going straight into overtime. Now on to you, Unlucky.
Thanks again, Lucky. What a great third period. Anxiety was really making a push in that second period, but in this third period, the Black Bulls have really been shutting them down, not giving them as many opportunities as they realized they were starting to drop the ball a little bit defensively. They managed to score the third goal first, but then Anxiety answered back in the last few moments of the period, which is unfortunate, but I really believe that the Black Bulls will come out on top here as they're outplaying Anxiety. Now back to you, Lucky.
Going straight into the overtime here, Anxiety goes for another one-timer in that slot area and another big read. The 13-minute mark, Anxiety is trying to make a good breakout, but they actually end up turning it over, and Green just takes a random shot from the half court, and that would be your game winner for Game 4 of the 7-game series. That makes us tying 2-2 with Anxiety. Big win for the boys here, and we're looking to see how Game 5, Game 6, and possibly a Game 7 will play out. Let's go into LKYLUISITO's last thoughts for this game. On to you, Unlucky.
Thank you again, LKYLUISITO, for having me here. With Game 4 all finished here, Anxiety, I'm sure, is very disappointed with that finish there. They were looking to get the W in that game, but they really dropped the ball, being up 2-0 and now being tied 2-2. Game 5 didn't really go our way. We ended up losing that game 4-3, but then Game 6, we actually got a forfeit win because they didn't have enough players. So now we're going to be moving into Game 7 here. Anxiety, Black Bulls, it's going to be an epic Game 7. Only series that actually went to Game 7 for the first round. Now let's go into the lineup here. The Black Bulls will be going with their #1 line, which is the raw line, the most consistent throughout the entire season and the playoffs. Now let's go into the footage. On to you, Lucky.
Going into this first highlight for Game 7, Blue fights for that puck and gets the big snipe just in that slot there. What a fantastic goal and a good way to start the game shorthanded and in the first few minutes. Well done. Now in the very same power play for Anxiety, they possess the puck pretty well on the half boards and they get a fortunate bounce from the point shot. That's kind of shitty, in my opinion, but let's move on. Now at the 10-minute mark, we are looking at Anxiety breaking into the zone here, and they go for the 5-hole shot, but I make the big save, and the rebound was kind of scary, and that instant replay just showed how close it crossed the line, but made the save. A few minutes later, Anxiety wins the puck battle on the boards, and I have to make the big wraparound save. Now moving on. Going into the last few minutes of this play here, a big spin move to the 1T, just an easy wrist shot save. Let's get our thoughts from LKYLUISITO at the end of the first period. On to you, Unlucky.
The first period of Game 7 has been really close. Not a lot of opportunities as both teams are playing a very defensive game. As you can see in the score sheet here, 5 shots to 2 for Anxiety, 3 minutes to 1 minute and 9 seconds time attack for Anxiety as well. Let's move on to the second. On to you, Lucky.
At the 14-minute mark of the second period, their winger is doing some dangles, and they go for the point shot. Pretty easy read. And moving on. Again with Anxiety in our zone a few minutes later, their defenseman is doing some quick dangles and goes for the 1T pass to the winger up on the blue line, but I make the big save. Again, Anxiety with another opportunity here. They get a little broken play. Make the save. On to the next one. We managed to get the puck back finally, and we get a good opportunity here. Raw holding onto the puck as long as humanly possible, and he snipes that top right corner. A big celebration just over our voice chat, but of course you can't hear that. Now we're winning 2-1. With the second period all done and dusted, now let's get our final thoughts before the third period from LKYLUISITO and see what his final thoughts are for the third. On to you, Unlucky.
Thanks again, Lucky. Anxiety and the Black Bulls put on a little bit more pressure in that period. Anxiety is definitely dominating the Black Bulls. I think Anxiety might edge out the Black Bulls, but Black Bulls are looking pretty dangerous once they're in the zone. Now let's move on to the third, and let's wish these guys all the best. Now on to you, Lucky.
Welcome to the third period of Game 7. This is a huge moment in the last few minutes of the third period. Mini breakaway, big save. We're in the last 20 seconds of the third period, Game 7. Every moment counts, including this one, where it's an unfortunate goal that somehow Anxiety managed to squeeze out of all the people around the puck. That'd be the third period. We are going into overtime of Game 7.
Well, that was very unexpected, and I'm not going to bore you with any stats here. Let's go straight into overtime. Now back to you, Lucky.
Overtime! Now at the 10-minute mark, we get this short side opportunity from Anxiety. No dice there. And then that would be it for the first overtime. We are actually going to double overtime. Very exciting stuff, and we're just going to get the final thoughts from LKYLUISITO before the second overtime. On to you, Unlucky.
Thank you again, as always. Now, looking over the stats here, the game is pretty even. All the stats are fairly fair amongst both teams. Face-offs, heads, passing, and shooting. But let's go into the double overtime and see what happens. Back to you, Lucky.
Enough talk, only gameplay. Let's listen in. No. A sad end to the playoffs. There has to be a winner and a loser in overtime, and Anxiety is the winner. Congratulations to them for moving on into the playoffs. Wasn't our destiny to win that game. They played absolutely well. Good luck to them into the second round. Now we'll just go into the final thoughts, and that would be it. That would be the end of the playoffs for us, for the Black Bulls. Had loads of fun with these guys. Thank you, Reggie Boy, for having me on his team. For future videos, we're gonna be finishing the season 42 of LG with the Buffalo Sabres, so you know what happens in that one, so stay tuned for that video. And you're gonna get an in-depth video for Hybrid Goalie soon, so stay tuned for that. If you are still following up to this point, please like and subscribe to the channel and put notifications on when you do. But until next time, take care.